All right, we're live here on LinkedIn. Excuse me, I've got a froggy throat already. Facebook and Twitter, courtesy of StreamYard, great technology that I'm testing out at the moment and getting pretty happy with it. As you can see, if you have watched my previous live streams, I've done them from my home office, or my studio, it now is my home office, with the beautiful baby blue wall. But back in the office now, which is terrific, and back in Melbourne in the CBD, pretty quiet still here. I've sort of come back every now and then for the last couple of weeks, and good to get back in. As I said, still very quiet. Unfortunately, a lot of shops are closed and eateries at the moment. It'll probably be that way coming up until Christmas, but hopefully next year we're all back to sort of semi-normal. Okay, just a couple of things. Good morning, William. You're in Philadelphia. Fantastic. Where it's lunchtime here in Melbourne, in Australia. So a couple of things. As you can see, the heading from today, here's one thing or one way to gain an edge for your business in 2021. Now, I'm not one of those people who love putting up the big trends, because I probably did it quite a few years ago when there was lots of trends and lots of new stuff coming up, and there's always lots of new stuff coming up. But I remember that video was always going to be the next big thing. For about 8 years, it was the big thing, and now it's just a thing. So I think that I stick clear of these big 2021 predictions, particularly around technology, because they can come back and bite you on the backside. But this thing, the concept I'm going to talk about today, is not new, and it's always been evident, but it's a little bit more esoteric and nuanced than a single technology or something like that. So just wanted to wrap the head around it a little bit today. But the other thing I want to talk about is why I think it might be a strong thing for next year. And what I'm talking about, it's a shocking word, I know I'm going to use it, humanization. Humanization is critical for any brand. Smaller companies, fast growth companies, medium-sized companies have got the edge definitely on the big organizations that really struggle with humanizing their brand, most of them. And so when I talk about humanization, let's use some other words: accessibility, building familiarity, putting your people in the spotlight. People don't do business with logos, they do business with people. And so why don't we put our people out there more often? And this can be done in a number of ways. Now, I'm talking about it from a comms, PR point of view. And if you're in professional services, for example, not only do you need your people out there, but they need to be out there and credible and have authority, which is yet another aspect that needs to come into play. But let's just look at this. What do I mean by this? Well, doing a live stream like this is humanizing your brand, albeit I run my own gig. Just looking at the comments there, William, you just got LinkedIn Live yourself. Fantastic, mate. It's there's a few people I know that are champing at the bit to get into LinkedIn Live, and it's been a really slow rollout. So get in and experiment. It's a bit of fun. I guess the other thing about this whole humanization too is that, what does it look like? Well, I think it starts with content. I think a lot of things start with content. When I talk content, then it becomes social media. And when it comes content and social media, it becomes earned media. And so they're the three areas that I want to talk about, and joining a lot of dots. But if we look at some of the things that are happening, and I guess we look at this year through COVID, we saw the whites of each other's eyes probably a little bit more, not in person, but online. And we got used to doing things on screen. We got used to presenting via Zoom or Microsoft Teams. We got used to live streaming. So I know quite a few people who have been doing live streaming, and those that have been doing it this year have really improved live streaming. It's one of those things that the more you do it, the better you get. Same with video, same with writing, same with podcasting. But the technology around the live streaming is a lot better as well, in terms of being able to multi-stream like this. I've just got a basic setup here with StreamYard, with AirPods and a computer. But some people that I work with, some clients, they do multiple cameras, panels with multiple cameras, and they bring in a producer. Others, someone like Tristan White, who has a daily He'll have it at 1 o'clock. If you go to Tristan J. White Facebook page, he has a daily live stream. He calls it Time Out. It's a huddle, and that's a daily one that he does to building a bit of a community there on Facebook, which is terrific. And he's fronting up every single day. Man, he's pushing buttons and he's got lights and he's got all the bells and whistles popping up on the screen. So I'm not at that stage yet. But so the people that have been doing live streaming, what I've noticed this year, they're getting better, and watch out for more shows next year. I think you're going to see the concept of a show. And we know that the social media channels love live streaming, so they give it more airtime. So if you're trying to beat the algorithm, well, live streaming is one way to do that. But also there's been a few people who are getting LinkedIn Live, like William from Philadelphia, who we'll be testing it out, trialing it, seeing how they go. A lot of people are just happy to do it on LinkedIn. Some people, their audience is on Facebook. Mitch Jackson, an attorney from California, he uses Periscope or Twitter and TikTok. He does all sorts of things. And when we talk about humanizing your brand, have a look at what Mitch Jackson does. He's the master at it, which is terrific. So live streaming is one part. Doing more video is great for humanization of the brand. We see the whites of people's eyes. We maybe if the videos go behind the scenes, we see that side of things. That's fantastic to bring your people out from the shadows of the cubicle. What about your experts? The Edelman Trust Barometer tells us year upon year that experts have got the most cred. They're the credible sources of information for a company, way more than the CEO, which means the CEO's got a little bit of work to do. But the internal experts, the technical experts, we already trust. Like the figure is something like 65%. So we should be getting them out. Now, this is not, when I say it's a trend, this has been happening for years. And so we're not seeing it anywhere near enough. We've got the tools. We've got no excuses not to do this. Another development I think that's adding to this is stories, not just your story, but stories. We have Instagram stories, Facebook stories, and now, of course, we have LinkedIn stories. Not seeing a lot of action on that front, but you'll start seeing a little bit. But stories is a great way, as we know, that content disappears. It's ephemeral, as they say. And we're going to see a lot more of that content potentially on LinkedIn next year. And that means it's going to be corporate and professional people doing it. If you're going to do stories right, then it's going to be a lot looser, a lot more behind the scenes, a lot more authentic and raw, which is what we really, really like. Give people a glimpse behind the velvet rope of your business, your organization. So when I said earlier, it's a lot easier for smaller businesses to do this, absolutely. And by small, you still could be 60 people, but the leaders of the business are involved, and they're the ones that have to drive a lot of this humanization. Because when the troops see the leaders are out there and they're on live streams and doing videos or podcasting or whatever, then their chance to shine a little bit is, or they get to ask to be on an interview or a panel with the boss, then they're more likely to do it. But if the boss is not sort of given the imprimatur, then that's less likely to happen. So what does this human element of your business mean? Well, it means that accessibility. We want to be able to know that we can maybe DM you on Twitter or email you or get through to you quite easily or talk to you on a live stream such as this. I think the big one is familiarity. Familiarity breeds trust. And as we know, trust is the social currency of today, online particularly. We got, if we're going to buy something from someone in terms of online shopping, e-commerce, we need to have a fair bit of trust in that business. And quite often we'll check them out ongoing. I mean, even if you're going to do business with an accountant or go to a shop or even get a burger, down the road, we start checking a lot of these places out before we even put in an order or go there. So in professional services world, in the advice-based businesses, which is, a big sector of the market, that is particularly the case. And if people go to your social channels, your website, your blog, what do you mean you haven't got a blog? Come on, you need a blog. What are they going to find? Will they do you justice? If you think of two professional services firms, all intents and purposes, you've had referral to both of them. You're checking them out. One's got the the founder and the CEO does a weekly live stream, and they've got an active blog where their internal experts are putting up great articles, and they're strong on Twitter and Facebook, and the individuals are on LinkedIn, and you can see all this. It's palpable. There's energy. There's a dynamic there that you can feel. Whereas Company B has got lots and lots and lots of stock photos. There's stock photos that you see quite often because a lot of professional services firms, for some reason, use very much the same stock photos. You see a lot of those stock photos around. You don't see really the people. You don't even go onto their LinkedIn. They haven't even got links to their LinkedIn. They might not even be on LinkedIn. But they certainly haven't got a blog, and they're not sharing information or being generous or useful or helpful or relevant, not pushing the boundaries, provoking thought through thought leadership content. So they're the things that we need to perhaps look at for next year. So why I think they're going ahead next year, because I think that this has been cemented during this year, topsy-turvy year. We want to do business with people. We're happy to engage with them online, to check them out further. And I think that that's a terrific step forward. So next year, 2021 and beyond, I think is going to start belonging to those brands, organizations, social enterprises, businesses, large and small, that know how to humanize themselves. The leaders are out of the shadows of the boardroom. The experts and the internal technical experts are out from the cubicle, and they're adding value, and they're being part of the community. Because as I say, if you want to build a community, you need to be part of other people's community first. So just leave you with that. Take people behind the velvet rope of your business. Get your experts out in the spotlight. If you're the leader, the owner, you've got to lead the way. You might not want to do live streaming, but I would definitely experiment a little bit with video and start developing a bit of a culture of content around your business, which incorporates social media. And let's not forget that next year we'll be out, hopefully on stages, speaking at meetups and conferences and seminars and stuff like that as well. So lots of opportunities to come to bear next year in 2021. So thanks for tuning in today, and good luck with your projects. See ya.